Hello Manchester United fans. Throwaway Ruben Amorim comment has already hinted at Manchester United attacking signing. Man United will be in the market for reinforcements this summer, and Ruben Amorim is likely to pursue another specialist wingback for his system. Ruben Amorim's system is generally considered to not use wingers, but the Portuguese head coach has already referred to some of his squad as exactly that. Amorim isn't after an out-and-out winger like Alejandro Garnacho, but more of a hybrid option like Patrick Dorgu. Amorim made the comment when discussing Dorgu's aborted Manchester United debut against Leicester City when he played 45 minutes on the right before being withdrawn at halftime. The £25 million January signing is left-footed, and there had been an assumption he was the man to finally solve the issues at left-back or wing-back under Amorim. That eventually happened, with the Dane impressing on the left in every United appearance since then, and he looks like the only real specialist for that position in Amorim's current squad. Diogo Dalot is maybe the closest fit, but Nasser Mazraoui is too defensive and Garnacho clearly too attacking, given he has never been used as a wingback by Amorim. Ahmad slotted in well as a right wingback in the early days of the Amorim era, but had established himself as a number 10 before injury struck. At the moment, Dalot and Dorgu are the best combination on the flanks. Amorim did mention Dalot when talking about his wingbacks, or wingers as he called them, and why he wants players comfortable playing on both sides. "We have to have wingers who can play both sides like Dalot," he said. "It's a really important thing. Sometimes you need a left foot on the right side to come inside and connect in a different way, and sometimes you need a right footer to connect and cross more balls." Dorgu has added to United's attacking threat down the right, and although he has a very different skill set from Dalot, it feels like United need a right-sided version of the 20-year-old now. Dalot can be tidy on the ball and isn't without a threat in the final third, but he doesn't have the same natural attacking ability as a player like Dorgu. If Amorim is to take United's game to the levels he took Sporting in terms of domination and the ability to strike rapidly on the break, then he needs a right-sided wingback who can attack with the same incision and pace. Those positions are key for Amorim, probably more important than any others on the pitch. When Dalot and Mazraoui played there, United looked a little one-paced when attacking down the flanks. Dorgu has bought a better balance and looks a shrewd addition, but there is certainly another level to unlock on the right. That doesn't necessarily spell the end for Dalot. As Amorim has said, he can provide cover on both sides and rotation will be required. He could be a go-to option for some of the tougher games. But as this United team develops under Amorim, Man United transfer target Jonathan David drops fresh hint on summer decision. Jonathan David is poised to leave Lille on a free transfer in the summer and has plenty of interested suitors, having netted 23 times this season for the French club. Jonathan David has suggested that he wants to play at the very highest level ahead of a summer transfer window where he will be in high demand. David is out of contract with Lille at the end of the season and is widely expected to move on, with Manchester United, Chelsea, Newcastle, Tottenham, West Ham and Barcelona among those interested in acquiring his services. The Canada international has scored 107 goals in 224 games across all competitions for Lille, including 23 this season. The 25-year-old has long been linked with a move to the Premier League and now looks ready to make a step up. Lille have helped develop the careers of Eden Hazard, Victor Osimhen, Rafael Leo, Gabriel Magalhaes, Mike Maignan, Lenny Yoro and Dimitri Payet in the past, and David wants to follow in their footsteps and challenge himself at a new club. Obviously, with this summer going on, I am not sure if I am staying or going. But if I do end up going, I have to push myself at the very highest level, he told Golazo America after scoring and providing an assist for Canada in a 2-1 win over the United States on Sunday. When you play for a big club, your position in the team is never guaranteed and you need to fight. I am never guaranteed anywhere I go to start every game and play every game. I have to perform. I am willing to fight. I know it's an important year. It is a big decision. I will make a wise decision. It is not the first time David has addressed speculation over his future recently, and the striker's media push could reflect a player trying to court suitors. To be honest, I think I can adapt to every league, he told Gary Neville and Jamie Carragher on the It's Called Soccer podcast. Every league has their differences. I think the Premier League is a lot faster and more physical than all the other leagues. I grew up watching a lot of La Liga. I wouldn't say that would be my preferred league, but it's a league I enjoyed watching more so than others. One day I would like to play there. But will that happen? I don't know. I'm not opposed to anything. We'll see where the future takes us. David believes his experiences will help him push on wherever he ends up. He added, I've had difficult moments, especially my first season and even my first 2 seasons at Lille. I think I had a dry spell, but now I'm scoring so much. But for me in those situations, it's about putting your focus on the work, so doing extra after training and always working hard, and knowing something will happen. Knowing I've put the work in gives me more confidence on the pitch, knowing that I did what I could. So I have no regrets. Normally, I'm more of a reserved, shy guy, but moving to different countries makes you evolve as a person. Marcus Rashford shows Thomas Tuchel he's ready to give England boss what he wants. England beat Latvia 3-0 at Wembley in Thomas Tuchel's second match, and Marcus Rashford again started. He wasn't at his best, but showed he's ready to do what his manager wants. Orel Grinfield is not one of world football's high-profile referees, but he is clearly a pretty decent one. After all, he was one of the few inside Wembley on Monday night who immediately noticed Marcus Rashford had, anticipated penalty box contact from Robert Savalnieks rather than actually felt it. If you are not inclined to give Rashford the benefit of the doubt, the Israeli referee was one of the few inside Wembley who spotted a dive. But dive or not, it came at the end of an attempt to get beyond the Latvian defense. Came from a direct run. And it came from Thomas Tuchel's words of criticism in the wake of the win over Albania 3 days earlier. England's new manager is clearly not worried about offending players' sensibilities, and was fairly dismissive of Rashford's and Phil Foden's contributions to the 2-goal victory. Tuchel was unapologetic on the eve of this run-out against the Latvians, but while he did drop Foden to the bench, he persevered with Rashford as a starter. And while this was far from a stellar performance from the player on loan at Aston Villa, Tuchel did get some sort of response from a character who, it has been fair to say for a long while, divides opinion. This performance in isolation will, for example, do exactly that. There will be those out there who think Rashford was mainly poor, that his final ball was not up to elite scratch. And there will be those who like the way he sat the odd defender down and tried to make things happen. The truth is that it was a very acceptable but relatively unremarkable performance in a distinctly unremarkable game of football. But Tuchel clearly likes Rashford. He is clearly a fan, possibly based on the Manchester United employee's entire body of work than on recent history. It is almost 4 months since Rashford last scored a goal, and there must be a very good reason why Ruben Amorim decided he could not work with him at Old Trafford. He still has a long way to go before people are convinced he can get back to his very best. But according to the statistics from this non-contest, Rashford was the player who created the most chances in the match. He did not directly create the opportunity taken by Harry Kane in the second half, doubling the lead earned by Reece James' superb first-half free-kick, but he was involved. And compared to the man on England's opposite attacking flank, Jared Bowen, he was far more positive and impactful. If you had to rate Rashford's combined contributions across the first 2 games of Tuchel's tenure, you would probably settle for a mark of 6, possibly 7, out of 10. But if he needed it, this show of faith from Tuchel should give the 27-year-old's confidence a lift. He can now go. Man United sent Victor Osimhen transfer warning as £25 million decision made. The latest Manchester United transfer news and rumors as we bring you some of the latest stories from in and around Old Trafford. Attention is starting to turn to the summer transfer window for Manchester United and their Premier League rivals as the end of the season approaches. It looks set to be a busy window for Ruben Amorim as he starts a rebuild of the squad to shape it into his own. The United boss has, however, already warned that there will have to be sales to fund any big incomings with the Premier League's profitability and sustainability rules, PSRs, in mind. That has not stopped United being linked with several players. The current international break has seen transfer talk ramp up again. Up front is one area where they are expected to look to strengthen at the end of the season, and there have been new reports about the future of United-linked Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen warning. Napoli president Aurelio De Laurentiis has warned clubs that striker Victor Osimhen will be sold to the highest bidder in the summer transfer window, according to Sky Sport. United are one of the teams credited with an interest in the striker. The report says that the Napoli chief has already turned to the best agents to try and get the issue around the striker resolved. Osimhen is said to have a release clause set at €75 million (62.7 million pounds) to clubs outside of Italy. He is continuing to impress in Turkey, scoring 20 goals so far during his loan spell with Galatasaray. Mensport says United are likely to have a lot of competition for Osimhen in the summer should they follow up on reported interest. Given that Napoli are still holding out for as much money as possible, it may not be an easy deal to do. It means that the club may first have to make sales to fund a move for the striker. That could possibly put them on the back foot in the transfer race. Jadon Sancho decision. Chelsea are expected to sign Jadon Sancho from Manchester United in a permanent deal in the summer after the expiry of his loan deal. Despite a bright start on loan at Stamford Bridge, Sancho has recently struggled to make an impact. It has led to reports that a £5 million get-out clause exists in the deal between the two teams, which involved a £25 million obligation to buy at the end of the season. However, Sky Sports report that Chelsea have decided to still sign the winger in the summer. There have been other reports elsewhere, though, that the Blues could then look to move him on themselves in the summer. Mensport says the situation could be seen as a win-win one for United. Despite his current poor form, the club either still get £25 million for him in the summer or receive the £5 million penalty payment and then the chance to try and sell the winger themselves to make extra cash. Sancho doesn't look to have a future at United, so the best thing would be for him to move on as quickly as possible. It therefore makes it easy.